Hey kids, it's Amy here for our craft moment today. So I have a fun craft that you should be able to make with only things you have at home right now. So this is what it will look like when you're finished. We're making a dove, and this dove has special things with your spiritual gifts listed on the bottom. So if you were able to watch the lesson on Sunday, we talked about gifts that the Holy Spirit brings to people, and everybody has a special combination of these gifts, and they are meant to be used to be a blessing to others. So hopefully you saw our spiritual gifts guide, and if you didn't, it's available online. So there's one like this that's for older kids, and then there's one that's a little bit easier if you're younger. So these are a great thing to do together with your family. We want to keep those spiritual gifts in front of us. We want to remember what they are. We want to pray over them. So let's get started because we want this craft to be a reminder. So we are going to need a printout of your dove template. Now this is available on the website. It has 2 on there. Okay, so if you have it, I suggest printing it onto heavier paper, like a cardstock. Now, if you don't have that, don't worry, because what you can do instead is cut both of these out. So I have one cut out. You cut them both out and glue them together, and that'll make your paper a little bit thicker. You also, if you have an extra cereal box or some kind of poster board, you could cut your dove template out of that, because then that'll be a little bit stronger paper. If you are an artist and you want to you can freehand your dove, just, get your pencil out and start drawing. That's a totally great option too. But don't feel like you have to do that. We have the template available on the website. Okay, so print out your dove body and then cut it out. So then, this is kind of the tricky part, okay? So you see a little bit of a line here. You may not can see it super great on the video, but when you print it out, you'll see the line, okay? So this is where your dove's wings are going to go. So if you've ever had to cut in the middle of paper, it's a little tricky. You may need some parents' help. But what you're gonna do is fold it just a little bit, get your scissors, and then cut on that line. Just a little snip. And then you can always cut it a little bit more if you need to. Okay, so now I've got a nice opening right there where we're gonna put the dove's wings. Now let's move on to our dove's wings. So we're gonna make the wings from a coffee filter. So you can use any kind of coffee filter, any size, it really doesn't matter. If you have the kind that's like a cone, you might want to cut it open. This kind is a nice circle. Another alternative, if your family doesn't drink coffee, is you might have some tissue paper around your house, any color, because, there's doves look differently. They don't always have to be white. So if all that you have in your house is hot pink, then just go for it. It's okay. So if you have some tissue paper, you're gonna want to cut a big circle out of it. A good option would be to get like one of those small plates you might have in your house and set it on the tissue paper, draw a circle around it and cut it out. Okay, so once you have your circle, you're going to do a back and forth fold. Okay, so just back and forth all the way down. I think this is also called a fan fold, if you've ever done that. Just back and forth, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. And then you're going to put your wings into that hole in the dove that we cut. Okay, just gently work it in there. You might need to work at it just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, you can kind of fold it up and see if you've got it centered on both sides, and then you can fluff the wings out like that, okay? So that's our dove is all finished. Now you are always welcome. It's your art. You make it however you want it to look. If you want to add eyes, if you want to add color, if you want to finish out his beak, you make it yours and you make it beautiful. Okay, so let me show you mine again. So mine has you can stop here, or if you want to keep going to put your spiritual gifts on there, I used some pieces of yarn and I just taped them to the dove's body. Okay, so any length, if you want yours really long, then go for it. If you don't have any yarn at home, you could use any kind of string or twine. That will totally work. And then I just used some scrap paper that I had, construction paper, but any paper is gonna work. You can make any shape that you want. I cut circles just because I thought they were nice. Again, I used this roll of tape and I put it on my scrap paper and then used a pencil and traced around it and then cut out my circle. But you are totally welcome. You can do squares, whatever shape you like. And then I just used some tape and taped it onto my string. Now, if you don't like seeing the tape on the back side, then you could put a circle on both sides so it's really pretty when you hang it up. So I'm gonna put a piece of loop of tape like that and put it on the back of my circle so it looks pretty from both sides. If you wanted to, you could also put a string from the top so you could hang your dove somewhere, hang it over your bed, hang it in your room somewhere. But let it be a reminder of the gifts that the Holy Spirit has given to you. So thanks for being here for Craft Time. Again, find our template on in the Kids Zone on Cornerstone Alive Kids website. Thanks for coming. If you just watched our Craft Moments video, you're gonna need a list of all of the materials you need. So let me do that really so you can see it all at once. You need a printout of the Dove template, and that comes from the Kids Zone on the Alive Kids web page. You also might need a piece of colored construction paper or any kind of paper you can color it yourself. Like you could cut out your circles from the extra paper on this page if you're trying to save paper and just do everything on one paper. That's totally great. You are also going to need the spiritual gifts guide so you can find out what your spiritual gifts are. You need some kind of either tissue paper or a coffee filter. You need yarn or string of some kind. You need a marker to write your spiritual gifts on your circles. You're probably going to need a pencil and tape and scissors.